We're going on an adventure and I'm so excited. Top speed is nearly 100 miles per hour. My van's batteries died in the middle of the night. That's ice and frost inside the van. Imagine how cold it is outside if it got this cold inside. I did some shopping, I spent some money. This is our new battery. What does this say? 0 degrees Fahrenheit. And we got the rocket ship right here, and we're going back to the backcountry of Alaska. This is why we live in Alaska. Oh no, okay, something's wrong. I have some bad news. Sled broke down. Oh, I'm so sad right now. I don't want to go home. I just want to ride my snow machine. In this video, we will take you on an exhilarating journey through Alaska's scenic backcountry in the foothills of Denali National Park and the highest point in North America, Mount McKinley. In this video, we discuss the challenges of navigating the rugged terrains and the risk of failing machines and failing batteries, and what happens when something fails and you get stranded out there in the backcountry. It's a scary experience, but we live through it and we have great stories to tell. It's cold out here, but I'm super excited. I don't care. My hands are freezing. We're going on an adventure and I'm so excited. I've been waiting all winter for enough snow to do some snowmobiling. We're loading up the camper van and the snow machines because tomorrow we're going out on a deep backwoods adventure. We're going camping in the winter for a couple of days below zero, snowmobile riding in the foothills of the amazing Mount McKinley National Park. Let's see if this old girl will crank. Keys, keys, keys. Anybody else lose their keys all the time? Oh yeah. So one of the issues I'm having is I'm nervous. I'm a little bit intimidated, I admit, because I've never done this before. And I'm not sure, will my camper van keep me warm enough? Will my snowmobile keep me running and safe? Will we have a good time, or will I get bogged out there and stranded? I don't know. We're gonna find out. And you stick around with me to the end of this video because there's so much to share with you. We're going deep into the backcountry to the foothills of one of the world famous national parks called Denali, now called Mount McKinley once again, thank you. And we'll find out how we do in the backcountry. This is the test of, am I tough enough? Is my machine tough enough? Is my snowmobile tough enough? But it's going to be beautiful. We're going to find out. Let's go. When we get there, just a bit. All right, so I can't pull this trailer forward. I'll have to back up. The last part is a padlock. Right there. The padlock's frozen, of course. What we usually do is we crisscross them, so if the trailer falls off, it gets caught in the crisscross here. Trailer lights, hitch is on the ball, and I've padlocked it on, and the receiver hitch is padlocked with a security lock into here. I think we're ready. We'll pull forward and we'll load up the snowmobile. Okay, so the next step is to load the snowmobile. I've been wanting to do this for a while, and I'm glad to take you with me. Let's do it. Come check this out. This is, remember when I said everything's more difficult when it's below zero? This is the hook that holds my ramp into the trailer. The hook is frozen. I can't get the ramp out. I've got to break this right now and see if I can get it open. When I say break it, I mean get it loose. This is my ramp to load onto this trailer. These little lips fit in what's supposed to be a groove right here, but the groove is full of ice. That means I can't get my ramp where it needs to be. So I've got to break some ice right here. Be patient with me, we'll get there. I think we've got the ramp situated. See how it fits in these little grooves? When you drive a snowmobile up on a trailer like this, or if you drive an ATV up on a trailer like this, you do not want your ramp to slip and collapse, because it can hurt you. Okay, I'm tired. As you can see in the background, our little country cottage here is under construction. Lipstick on the pig. Sorry about that. We had a bit of an issue. The ground is uneven here, and so this was twisting, and every time it twisted, it came unhooked here. And so what I tried to do is put some snow underneath one edge so it would level out a little bit and get jammed in there. And I took a gamble and it worked. It's not the best way to do things, not the best design. We got it done. I'm tired and I'm cold. It's time to go inside, eat some chili. We are excited because that's loaded and we're going on our first of the season real backcountry multi-day snowmobile ride, van camping, and sub-zero, and I'm taking you with me. Let's get it done. When I moved to Alaska, I don't know, something like 15 years ago, I was amazed at the stuff that they have that I never knew about growing up in the deep south. And I always wondered, how do you lock these machines down on a trailer like this? And I'll show you how. If you're not into snow machine riding, or if you live in the deep south, you've never even ridden one of these things, you're kind of like me at one time in my life. And I'll show you how we do this. And I'm finding it hard to talk right now because it's cold and my lips are frozen. This is how we lock the snowmobile or snow machines in Alaska to the trailer, and it screws in right here. It's made by sled bed, and it puts pressure on the skis, and you can tighten it down. And this is what holds the front of the machine in place. And once this is tight, it's not going anywhere. And so the next thing I will do is put my parking brake on up here, and then I will run a strap through the back of this machine, through the track and onto here to keep the back end from flopping around, but it's not going anywhere. And that's the safe way to lock down a snowmobile. I'm getting more excited by the moment. Let's get going. This is why we live in Alaska. It's for a day just like this. Oh, this is as good as it gets, guys. What a gorgeous day in the backcountry of Alaska. Late winter. Still not enough snow in here to really have fun, but enough to cruise around and see the sights and enjoy this sunny day. It's about, I don't know, 10 degrees out maybe today. And I'm gonna stop talking for a moment because I want you to hear and feel what the backcountry of Alaska looks and feels like when there's no one else around. Complete silence. If you ever wonder what real quiet looks like and feels like and sounds like, this is it. Right there is the base. You can't see the peak, but right there is the base of the mountain known as Mount McKinley, formerly known as Denali. We're in the foothills of the highest point in North America. What a great place to ride and camp. And I'm so glad you can come along with me. So I want to share something with you. We're going to do this right here in this little stretch. I want to give you an example of how powerful and fast these things are. We're going to give this thing full throttle for just a short burst and watch it go from 20 to 70 miles per hour in just a few seconds. Top speed is nearly 100 miles per hour in this thing. No, I'm not doing it. Come along with me. For those of you who don't ride snowmobiles, what I'm trying to do is give you a good feel of what it's like to experience this, and this is as good as it gets. All right, let's go ride. Oh, that was a rough night. Slept in the van, negative sub-zero temperatures, backcountry of Alaska. I didn't sleep well. I woke up about every hour on the hour. My van's batteries died in the middle of the night, what's called the house batteries. And those house batteries keep my heater running. And when the house batteries died, my heater went out and it got real cold in here real quick. So you can imagine how frustrating that is. So I've had a rough night. I'm going to do probably some abbreviated snowmobile riding this morning, and then I'm headed out of here. I'm gonna head home. We're a few hours from home, and I'm looking forward to a hot shower and a warm bed. But before we do that, we're back here. We may well do a little bit of camping, but I'll show you what I did in the middle of the night. But that was a major emergency happened here. This is, I mean, a really emergency, and it could be life-threatening in the backcountry because my batteries went out in the middle of the night. And when my batteries go out, my heater goes out. When my heater goes out, and it's sub-zero outside, and by the way, we're not in a Walmart parking lot. We are way out in the backcountry of Alaska, very remote. I'd say at least about an hour and a half from any help whatsoever. And so I had to get up in the middle of the night and scramble to make some changes in here before I got too cold. And here's what I did. Excuse the condition of the van. It's a mess in here because it was chaos in the middle of the night. So I plugged in my Blue Eddy. This is my power bank, portable power generator. And I plugged my van into this. So this Blue Eddy right here is running my entire van right now, and it's running my heater and it's charging my house batteries right there. Well, we're only at 34%. Good thing it's morning time and it's about to be daylight outside, so we can run this for just a couple more hours and we'll get out of here. Bacon and eggs for breakfast. This is a great way to do a minimal breakfast. Boiled eggs, pre-cooked bacon, microwaved it. I made some smoothie at the house before I came out here, and this was a mess. I don't want to say it was a failed trip because I still had a great time, but it's a really good test and it's a good learning experience for a newbie like me in the backcountry of Alaska, that I've got to make sure all of my elements are in place. And in a previous video, I told you why having redundant systems in the backcountry of Alaska could save lives, and last night I proved it because in the middle of the night, my batteries died and my heater went out, and it was a really emergency situation, and I'm glad we had some redundant systems like a generator and this portable backup system to get me out of that jam, because that was a bad deal. I've had a bit of food, a little bit of bacon, a little bit of eggs, a little bit of smoothie. My attitude's a little bit better, but I'm still not going riding today. We're packing up early and we're headed home. I have some changes and some repairs to do to this van and its electrical system before I try this again. And my concerns and my hesitation and my intimidation that I expressed to you earlier in this video were apparently well founded, because in the middle of the night, my batteries failed, which means my power system failed, which means my heater failed, and it got darn cold in here and I had a rough night. So we got to make some changes. My van's a mess, and I'll show you the process of cleaning this place up this morning. In the middle of the night, I had to throw everything everywhere to scramble to get some things plugged in and to get some heat in here in the, with one eye closed, and it's dark and it's freezing and I'm panicking. So we're going to clean up and get out of here this morning, and I'll show you the process of converting a van from camping to rolling down the highway. Come with me. This is my toilet right here. In the winter, we don't have water in this thing because the water will freeze in the line. So we just use a bucket with these heavy duty liners, and there's a chemical in the liner that helps some of the smell. It's like this. It's a 2-layer bag system. So you have first inner liner is basically a heavy duty trash bag. So you do your business, drop your little nuggets in there, and then you seal it up like a heavy duty Ziploc. And then it's a really tidy little pouch, and this can be discarded wherever you need. And of course, I said it earlier, there is basically something that reminds me of cat litter in here. I love this van, but it's a little crowded. Okay, laptop. She fits right up here pretty well. In there. These Rumpelbank blankets are some of our favorite nice, puffy, warm blankets. By the way, if you're curious, we bought these at Rumpel brand. We bought these at REI as well, and they work really well for overnight sleeping in an extremely cold van. These pillows, pretty smart, medium-sized pillow. It unzips and it zips up into a nice compact little pouch, keeps the pillow clean that way, and it compresses the pillow, and it's made by a company called Hest, H-E-S-T. These are also found at REI, and I store them back here. One of the problems with, I guess, any van or any RV is it's not very insulated across the bottom. And so even though it is above 75 degrees up here, because heat rises, it is very cold on that floor. And so these slippers are insulated, hard rubber bottoms, and they are made by a company called RAB, I believe, R-A-B. And I love these things. They are really great for driving, but they're really wonderful for just hanging out in the van so your feet aren't cold when the rest of you is warm. So we keep these handy. It's gonna take me 2 days to get everything out of here. Okay, next step. If you think it wasn't cold outside last night, look at my window. That is ice all along in here, and the frost. That's ice and frost inside the van. Imagine how cold it is outside if it got this cold inside. Right now, we're still running on Blue Eddy power. We're down to 20%, and so it's almost time to crank the engine of this thing and get moving. But right now we're running our heater and all this electricity and these lights off of this unit plugged into the side of the van. I did that so I didn't have to start my generator. If I start my generator, I have plenty of power, but it's noisy and I would not be able to talk to you while running that generator. Okay, the next step is to convert the bed back to a seating area, and here's how that works. An extremely simple design, and I love simplicity. And that's it. That is how we set it up for riding and for sitting back here when we're not sleeping. Okay, it's time to shut this off. That thing is heavy. So we're operating on house batteries right now. My house batteries stay good for just a little while, but then they die. So it's imperative that I get into the driver's compartment and start the main engine on this machine very quickly. All right, so here's what we'll do. We'll go start the main engine, and then we'll come back and shut the rest of this down. Oh, it's gonna be a pretty morning, pretty day. You can see our S-Bar heater is still running, doing its job. The S-Bar heater has not failed me. I just have to be sure I give it what it needs to do its job, fuel and electricity. Look at this. It's frozen from inside. Oh. Yep. We're ready. If you notice, I had to scrape the inside of my windows. That's crazy. Okay, it's nice and warm in the van, so I can get out of these gloves and this heavy jacket. Let's get on the road. As soon as I get home, I will do some research and find out who has the correct batteries for my house side of this van so I can get some new batteries and install those. We can get back out here very quickly. Let's go home. All right, we're ready to go home. There's one little spot that I'm worried about getting out of here. We came down a very steep hill coming into this parking lot. It's icy and slick and snowy, and you guys say a prayer that I can actually get up that icy slick hill. But we have Quigley 4-wheel drive from the van. 4-wheel drive light is on, and I'll take you with me as we try to get up this hill. So we're about to head over this hill, and I'll turn the camera around and show you what we're dealing with on the way up. Keep your fingers crossed, say a prayer. Lord Jesus, thank you for this absolutely stunningly beautiful drive and the blessings that you've given us to live in a place like this. Keep us safe going up this extremely steep hill in this 4-wheel drive camper van. Okay, everyone, let's go. Slippy a little bit, but she's gripping. I can feel it. We're gonna make it. Woo! All right. Okay, we made it. Somebody was listening. We have a beautiful drive home this morning. I'll take you along with me for some of it, and we'll get home and get to work on this camper van because I want to come back out here. I'm not defeated. I'm not retreating. I'm just reloading. We want to work on this camper van and get back out here later this week. I'm not, you know, we're reaching to the end of the season for snowmobiling here in about another 6 or 8 weeks or so, and we haven't had very much of a good winter, and so we've had very little snow to ride. And so I want to get back out here later this week. There's a lodge out here that is supposed to have fantastic pizza. I want to come out here and spend a couple days camping in the van without stressing out that the heater is going to die in the middle of the night and I'm not getting sleep. When I don't get sleep, I get grumpy. So we're going home. We're going to work on this van and try to get back out here as soon as we can. And once again, we're not retreating, we're just reloading. I want to show you something here because it's important. It's important because earlier in this video, I had my batteries fail in this van in the middle of the night in the backcountry of Alaska, and it shut my heater down, and it could have been bad. I could have froze to death out there, gotten hypothermia, or at least been in an unsafe condition. I made it through the night, came back home, and I did some shopping for batteries. And let me show you what I found because I'm excited about the solution. Check this out. This is our old battery. We had two of these, one there and one there. It's an AGM Absorb glass mat. It's fairly affordable, very heavy, but only 100 amp hours of storage, and it didn't survive the cold weather, and they're probably pretty old. So what's really cool is I did some shopping, I spent some money, and it's worth every penny because look what I found. This is our new battery. That is 300 amp hours of lithium polymer LiFePO4, LiFePO4, and that's 300 amp hours. That will give me 3 to 4 times the capacity that two of these had, because they can be charged and discharged at a much higher rate and a bigger spread in voltage, and that means much longer run times. I can probably run in the backcountry of Alaska 3 or 4 days without needing to recharge that battery. Again, this is what we had in here, and it wasn't working, and it was failing me, and it got me in trouble in the backcountry. But guess what's happening now? The new battery is installed, and I'm loading up, and we got the rocket ship right here, and we're going back to the backcountry of Alaska. We're going to do some camping. We're going to a lodge to have beer and pizza on a Super Bowl weekend with Living My Alaska. What does this say? 0 degrees Fahrenheit. It's a beautiful 0 degrees. Warm's almost spring day in central Alaska, and I'm going snowmobile riding. I'm excited. Let's get out of here. It will warm up to possibly 10 or maybe even 15 degrees today. That's almost hot by Alaska standards. Let's go. Come inside. Our new batteries are doing their job. We're inverting at 13.2 volts. That's probably about 80%. I'm not sure why it didn't go to 100, but 80%. And it's time to put some things away. Here's our little refrigerator right here. Nothing special there, but it works, and it works very well. So this is where we store our food. Technically, these boiled eggs don't need to be refrigerated, but I think it's safe to do so. That's it for the fridge. One thing you have to be sure of when you use water bottles like this is to don't leave them in here in the wintertime, because they will freeze and turn into blocks of ice, and in the springtime they will thaw and split and dump water all inside your van. When I get home, somebody send me a message in the comments, make sure I don't leave these in here. Food. What happens when a machine sits out in the weather in Alaska. Although it hasn't snowed or rained in many days, it's still covered in ice and frost, and I hate that. I need to get it into an enclosed trailer one of these days. So we need just a little bit of maintenance this morning to be sure we are safe and reliable in the backcountry. I'm going to start the machine and make sure it actually starts and runs and the battery is strong, and then we will put oil, two-stroke oil, in there. I mean, it's almost full, but I'm going to top it off anyway. It's just a safety measure. Ski-Doo brand two-stroke oil. It's the only thing I use. Note to self, use a funnel. I'll have to get a paper towel and wipe that up, and then we'll be on the road. So I should have been patient, not gotten in a hurry, and I made a mess here, so I have to go get a towel now and clean that up. This is such a good general lesson for life in general, is when you try to skimp and save a couple of minutes and end up costing you 2 or 3 times that amount. Instead of going to get a funnel and using that to pour in my oil, I tried to do it with just a bottle, and I made a mess, and so I had to go dig up some towels and clean up the mess. And now I have to wash my hands because I don't want to smell like two-stroke oil and the whole process. So that means I have to, after I'm done with this, I got to go unlock the house, go back into the house, wash my hands, relock the house, all just to avoid having to use a funnel. And you would think by my age I'd learned my lesson. We learn lessons? No, we don't. In the backcountry, when you have a battery start from a machine like this sub-zero weather is brutal on batteries, and so you always want to be sure those batteries are healthy. by Ski-Doo. As you can see, they always start. At least for me, they have. I'm gonna let this run and warm it up while I go wash my hands. Okay, here we go again. I'm excited. Our second attempt at going to the backcountry Alaska, doing some camping with the camper van and our new snowmobile, leaving our little homestead on the dirt road. When I was a kid, I grew up on gravel roads deep in the, the countryside of South Louisiana. And when we left that place, I always just wanted to go back to living on a dirt road, and apparently it took me about 40 years to do it. and here we are again, back on a dirt road in the middle of nowhere, this time in the frozen far north instead of the swamps of Cajun country in South Louisiana. And if you can see, I'm smiling right now, because when I was a kid on the farm, I would watch TV and see magazines, and all these city kids in cool places in California were riding skateboards and fancy bicycles, and we didn't have any concrete. And I didn't realize how blessed I was to not have to grow up in a concrete jungle. But so I cried to my parents and made a bunch of noise enough, and I was raising some pigs. If any of you know what 4-H is, that's basically a farming community thing for children and young adults to learn responsibility for raising animals. And you can raise everything from pigs to cows to chickens and rabbits. Well, I raised pigs, and when I sold my pigs, I told them, can I please use my pig money to buy myself a little motorcycle? And so we did. We drove 2 hours to a big city. Well, to me, it was a big city at the time. And we found some very used, pre-owned, affordable little dirt bikes. And I guess I was about 10 or 12 years old at the time. And so I did the deal on one of those things, and it changed my life in the backcountry of South Louisiana. And I literally rode the tires off that thing. And I rode it very aggressively, and every chance I get, I rode that machine. And oddly enough, I never got hurt. Our entire neighborhood across the countryside, all the other farmers and all the other kids had either ATVs or little dirt bikes, and they were all small at the time. And gosh, I rode that thing up and down the gravel roads, up and down the blacktops, and that brings great memories to me. And so now, as an adult, and almost as an old man, I kind of feel like an old man, but now as an adult, I still love to ride things like ATVs, and in this case, that snowmobile brings back great memories of joy and fancy backwoods exploration. And I just thought I'd share that with all of you, and this is why I love riding snowmobiles so much, even if I have to go do it by myself. Here we go, onto the highway. We'll stop and get some fuel. Although we are at 3/4 of a tank, I still want to fuel up. Going deep into the backcountry, and my generator pulls gasoline from the main fuel tank, so I want to be absolutely topped off with oil and fuel and everything I need to survive back there, just in case I get stranded for some reason, which is unlikely. Just one of the many reasons I love Alaska and love this highway. Behind those trees right there is the mountain they call Mount McKinley. Right there in front of us, everyone, is the Mount McKinley, also known as Denali. It is the highest point in North America, a mecca for mountain climbers and a beacon for thousands and thousands of years in this area to the native peoples who once called this land home. One of the landmarks of this area is the Big Sioux, also known as the Susitna River. You can see why. Look how pretty that is. Frozen rivers. If you grew up in the South Country like I did, every time you come across a frozen river in the far north, it fascinates me. You can see why. I mean, it's gorgeous and it's amazing because that's a river under all that ice, and I always think that's pretty cool. Time to fill up on gasoline and get out there. I'm worried about the parking lot being so full that I won't find a place to park for the night, and so we're gonna put our jacket on here and get some fuel. Putting the good stuff in today because the generator I might need to use the little bit higher octane might help in this cold weather. 90 octane is the best we get in Alaska. Pretty sunny day, I'm excited. I left something open, not good. I'm gonna go inside, grab a snack and maybe some kind of water, and I gotta pee. All right, here's that scary hill once again. It's 25% grade, downgrade right here. And it's icy and slick. So we're taking ourselves a lot of time. We're taking time to get down this hill to be sure we do it safely. I do not want to lose control with a snowmobile trailer behind me. And we're almost to the parking lot, and I sure hope there's space for me to park my camper trailer tonight. A lot of people out here. It's a beautiful sunny day. You can understand why. A lot of trailers in that lot. Yeah, there's space. That's good news. I think maybe I'll go park down at the end over there where I don't have to try to back this trailer in. Not really much space in here anyway. Let's see down here how we do if we can find a nice flat spot to camp for a couple nights. Wow, it's a lot of people here. Ooh, it's crowded. I think maybe what I will do is pull straight in, nose first. And when I need to get out of here, I can just back out. It'll be real tricky trying to back this trailer into one of these narrow spots. Yep, it's about the only spot we have. See how much we're sticking out into the road. Okay, I think we have a pretty good spot here. I need to have a look, make sure we're not sticking out in the road too far. It's not the best spot, and it's not very even, but I'll let you know. Found a better spot, and a spot that maybe I can loop around or at least back in. I think we'll give that a shot. It's not easy backing this thing up. Thread the needle here. Go around the back of these trailers and pull up next to that red truck. This should be a pretty good spot here. You know, I think I want to do is get like way on the end here. There we go. We are not balanced or even at all, so I need to try this again. Being unlevel is not the worst thing in the world, but it's worth taking the time because I have the time. Do it correctly, and so in the middle of the night I'm not uncomfortable because I'm so unlevel that things are falling off my countertops and I'm rolling off the bed. And not crowd them too much. This looks like a much better spot. And if I want to be unlevel, parallel, like front to back, it's better to be a little high in the back. So that means, you know, when I lay in the bed, I'll lay with my feet a little bit lower than my head. And I think this is pretty good. Let me check, make sure I'm not too close to this trailer next to me. I'll be right back. Okay, we made it. We're here. Successful run, and it was a good one. I think it worked out really well. So I'm trying to find myself a level spot to park this van, and I'm checking my leveling bubbles. This right here is a leveling bubble, and it says I'm laterally left to right, whether I'm slanted too much or not. That's pretty good. I'll take it. And I have another leveling bubble back here, there, and it looks like we're in pretty good shape as well, back to front. And so come around with me, I'll show you. We'll check that leveling bubble together. Yeah, that looks really good. Here's our level bubble right there, and it says back to front. We're in real good shape. So this will be our camping spot for tonight. We'll get set up. This is a good spot. You can see how much space I have between these guys. I hear their heater running. It looks like they have a heater running in there right now. So that's fine. We've got plenty of space here. We're not crowding anybody. And this looks okay too. So we're good. The first thing we do when we get a place like this is to set up camp. I gotta, we'll insulate this. We'll turn on the heater for a while, make sure everything works and runs as it should. And we're in good shape. As you can see, this blanket is not extremely thick. You can see the sunlight actually coming through the blanket. But it does the job. If I did it again, I would get a much heavier version of this blanket and do a better job getting it to seal up. But it's very effective right now, and I'm extremely pleased with it. We'll close these blinds because they help insulate. And eventually what I need to do is make some insulated blankets that snap around these windows to keep more heat in. But so far, our little S-bar heater, which we're going to kick on right now, has performed extremely well. We're inverting at 13.7, 13.6 volts. That's pretty good. Let's turn on some heat. 73 is a bit warm. I'll drop it down to 66. And that says infinity, which means the runtime, it will just run until I tell it to turn off. So I need to set up my Starlink and do a few things before I can go ride this afternoon. I need to let my wife know that I made it here safely and communicate with some friends that may be coming out for the weekend to meet me here. So I'm going to do that now. This is our Starlink. It's the Gen 3 Starlink. It doesn't pivot, it doesn't move, it just sits on this mount that I bought, and it's made by Trio. It's called a Trio flat mount. I'll put a link in the description for a Trio flat mount, and I've been really pleased with it. These are magnetic bases, but the top of this van is not steel, so it won't stick. So I just throw it up there until I'm ready to take it down. So that's what we're going to do right now. One of the other things I want to do is find a better place for the rest of the Starlink, the router and all that, and I think I'm going to try to put it under the seat, or even maybe under here, and then run the power up right here, because that's where the power needs to go. It's right here. I might be able to just put it all in here and get it out from there. Let's do that now. As you can see, we've run the Starlink cable from under here, right here, so the door doesn't pinch it. Up, there's our Starlink, ready to go. Oh, it's already nice and warm in here. It's amazing how well this heater works and how quickly this thing is warmed up. Okay, that's a much cleaner installation. No wires in here. That's there. When I put my cushion back, this is what we have. That's a good Starlink setup. It's not seen, but it's running. So we'll give it a few minutes to catch satellites, and then we'll check on our friends, check some emails, check YouTube, see what you guys have been posting and commenting about. This will be our camping spot for tonight. We'll get set up, and then we'll go ride, and I'm taking you with us. This is why we live in Alaska. This is why we deal with frozen toes, miserable weather, darkness. It's for days like this. Don't tell nobody. Stay where you are. Nothing to see in Alaska. Oh my goodness, that's fun. Check this out. It's probably single digits right now, Fahrenheit, maybe 5 or 10 degrees, but that sun is so bright that I can feel the heat coming off of it, and that is good news. That means we've survived another winter in Alaska, and springtime is on its way in a month or two. We are in the foothills of the great high one called Denali, also known as Mount McKinley. There it is. Highest point in North America, and the surrounding mountains and hills are absolutely stunning and wild and gorgeous. And listen to this, I'm going to shut up because I want you to get a feel of what the real backcountry in Alaska sounds like and looks like, starting now. This is as majestic as a place as I've ever seen. And it escapes me why anyone or how anyone could think that this was created by an accident. We have an amazing God, and he is one hell of an artist and an amazing builder and a creator. That is remarkable. And if you're looking for miracles, you're looking at it right now. I want to try something that I haven't done yet, and that is I want to try to fly the drone and have it follow us as we go down the trail, and I think that'll make some really good footage for you. So we're gonna give that a shot. This is the DJI Mini Pro 4, and this is the second drone I've owned, and I'm extremely impressed with it. We're going to try to learn it today because I don't know how to do this, but I read about it online on how to get it to follow me or follow us as we ride. And if I read this correctly, top left-hand corner, there's a way to tell it to follow me. And we'll see if we can figure that out. Yeah, I know it's single digits out here, maybe 10 degrees. With that sun in the background, it's just not cold.
Home point updated.
I know there's a way to follow. All right, I'll get back with you as soon as I figure it out. Oh no, okay, something's wrong. What's that noise? This machine is losing power. Something's broken. This is bad. My sled is broken. I'm about 5 miles from my van and my trailer. It will be a long, cold walk to safety if I have to walk out of there. Okay, maybe I should walk out to the main trail and hope someone comes along for help. So the good thing about the snowmobile community and the Alaskan backcountry community at large is that people seem to take care of each other, even if, in this case, even if that means helping a total stranger on the side of the road just like me. These gentlemen came along on their way out to search for some deep powder riding today, and they were kind enough to stop and provide some assistance, so I didn't have to make a long cold walk out of here. We were able to get the sled moving just enough for me to limp it back to the trailer, and something's definitely broken. It will need repairs. My fun day of riding is over. For now, we will try again. We're not done.
They got these stupid little rollers in there that are plastic, and then when one of them cracks, it won't let it holds it out.
It's so far away.
Yeah, because what they do is they get hung up in there. It's just a little plastic roller.
Yeah.
And then it holds it out and it won't come together. But usually you can go a little bit.
Yeah.
It won't hurt it anymore.
Let's give it a shot because it didn't really want to go.
Well, he's just got to get forward moving.
Yeah.
You're just trying to get back to
I just get back to the
parking lot.
I have some bad news. Sled broke down. Something wrong with the clutch. Left me stranded back there. Some gentlemen came along, helped me get it running just enough to limp it back to the truck. So we've got it back on the trailer. Camper van's there. We're headed home tonight. Oh, I'm heartbroken. I sure wanted to go camping and take you with me. I'm really, really bummed. So another day, I guess. Devastated. Okay, packing up. Okay, we're secured. Front is secured. This is tight. Key off of the machine. Helmet and gloves go with me. There. I'm really sad. It's a beautiful weekend to ride snowmobiles, and my sled is broken. We'll let that ride there. Okay. Got to get the Starlink off the top of the van, then we'll go ahead and crank the van and warm up the engine and the cab of this thing, and then we'll pull in the Starlink and we'll get out of here. As you can tell by my voice, I'm absolutely devastated that my machine is broken. Turn on some heat, reverse camera. Oh, I'm so sad right now. I don't want to go home. I just want to ride my snow machine. All right, let's go get the Starlink down. Go home. The last step before we pack up and head out of here is to shut down the house side of the van. I have to make sure my lights are off, my S-bar heater is off, and that's it. And I will go ahead and shut down my refrigerator, and really sad about not being able to ride snowmobiles today. And I think I'll leave everything else as is. When I get home, I'll unpack the refrigerator and then put this thing in storage mode. Okay, let's go home. I regret to tell you that we have a very early departure from what's going to be what promised to be a very beautiful, really sunny weekend and perfect for snowmobile riding. But my snowmobile is broken. Went several miles out, it broke down. I stood on the side of the road and I asked some people for help as they went by. They were kind enough to stop and help. We got it going just enough to limp it back and put it on the trailer and get out of here. So we're going home, and I'll keep you updated on what happened to the machine, and we'll go camping and snowmobile riding another time. And I'm so sorry. I'm really brokenhearted about this. Join Living My Alaska as we take big risks in navigating Alaska's breathtaking backcountry on snowmobiles. Can we make it through without any major mishap? We've certainly had our failures so far. Isn't that pretty? Nothing, I just stopped for you guys to...
Oh.
I just think this is the most gorgeous spot of that mountain. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
So this is about where I broke down yesterday.
Oh, we didn't make it very far.
No, it's a little bit farther that way, but close. You get the idea.
Oh no, okay, something's wrong. What's that noise? This machine is losing power. Something's broken. This is bad. My sled is broken. I'm about 5 miles from my van and my trailer. It will be a long, cold walk to safety if I have to walk out of there. Okay, maybe I should walk out to the main trail and hope someone comes along for help.
It's amazing when you're alone out here. It's like, oh shit, now what? You know, how much daylight do I have?
Well, at least you know there's a trail you can walk all the way back.
I walked my ass back, and of course I knew the lodge was going to open and all these people are going to be going by, so
yeah,
it was going to be all right.
Now the real issue would be if you were like back in there,
correct,
all the way in the back of the swamp.
And that's why I deliberately didn't go. I just I stayed right. Actually, I was actually about where those trees are, about that distance. There's some signs up here that all these trails that have been groomed. You guys ready? Pinky finger that's frozen.
Oh no!
I think one of her hand warmers isn't working.
Did you want a hand warmer?
I might need one. We'll see. You have some of those, really? So I could just shove it in there?
I got one warm.
Oh, cool. Well, I don't want to take yours.
Oh, I'm not using it.
Okay,
it's just
thank
in my
you.
pocket. It's not warm yet, but.
Okay, so I just do that with
Launch
it.
it up and it'll get really warm.
You guys been out here before?
No. This is
oh,
awesome.
It's freaking incredible, isn't it? Isn't it beautiful?
There are two big problems when you go snowmobiling and camping in backcountry of Alaska. Number one is the remoteness. It's not like when you go way out there that you can just go out to safety if you need. And that's one of the biggest problems. Little problems like a small mechanical issue on a snowmobile can leave you stranded far from home, and that gets dangerous. The other major problem is the weather and the sub-zero temperatures in many cases. When that temperature gauge drops below zero, it can be deadly in a matter of minutes. Those are the risks we take, and we assume those risks, and we do everything we can to mitigate those risks to have these types of adventures and these types of stories to tell. In video 1 of this series, I tried to go van camping and my van's batteries died in the middle of the night in the sub-zero temperatures, and I risked getting hypothermia out there in the middle of nowhere. I had to wait till sun up to pack up my stuff and get out of there. I did some research on what the problem was. I bought some new batteries and I loaded up the snowmobile for another shot. In video 2, the van is performing great, but we go blasting out into the backcountry on that really fast and beautiful snow machine I have, only to find out that it fails, the engine fails, and I get stranded in the backcountry, and that's not a good place to be. It was going to be a 6-mile walk to safety if I had to walk out of, though. Not a good situation. Thankfully, some good guys came along. They helped me out. I was able to get myself back to safety. Broken, but not defeated. I went home with a broken snow machine and a functioning van, and I thought maybe my Alaskan adventures were over for the season, except for one last shot. Not to be defeated, I took my wife's snowmobile. In part 3 of this video, I get invited to the same spot that we did part 1 and 2, but this time I'm going with friends and I'm taking my wife's snowmobile. And I am excited to share with you that we had a trouble-free day of epic snowmobile adventures with friends, and the point of that video is to show you the epic scenery and to show you that if you just don't give up, if you take safety precautions and you have some faith and have some courage, and if you're afraid, do it scared, but do it anyway. That's going to take a while to defrost. I hope this thing starts. You guys cross your fingers, say a prayer. Lord be with us. Oh yeah, that's always a good sound. All right, we're started. Let there be heat. Defrost. My breath, condensation, and other things have completely frozen the inside of my van. That will take a while. We're going to be here for a little bit. Let's go back inside the house part of this van. So I usually use this rag to wipe off this when it happens. The rag is frozen and it's in there and it's not coming out. Good times. Beautiful day in Alaska. Okay, let's open up some blinds. And we're going to leave our S-bar heater running for a while to assist the van's heater in warming up this machine and defrosting the windows. And I have to open up these blinds so I can see while I'm driving on the way home. It's time to take down our insulating curtain. Woo, that's cold air coming from there. It is amazing the difference this thing makes. If you're new to the channel and you're wondering where I got this blanket, I made this blanket myself. It's a Rumpel RUMPL. Bought it at REI, and I decided to sacrifice it and use it as an affordable insulation method. I put these snaps on it myself, and we screwed these snaps into here and all along the top and all along the bottom. That's how we insulate that part of the van. We have a long way to go to get that all defrosted, so we'll be here a little while. Closed and locked. Everything is stowed. This is where it's safe, where it is. Locked. Lights are off, 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 off. I guess we can go ahead and turn off our S-bar heater. Simply press and it's off. I'll leave the inverter on for now. That's fine. This is closed and locked. Generator is off. This door is shut. And that's how we get ready to drive to make sure things are safe. We live a wild life in this great land, and we want you to know you can too. We pack these videos with valuable information, but most importantly, we hope you find inspiration. We hope you are inspired to live a different kind of life. And if you want to learn more, then I think you'll love this next video. Come with me. Let's go there now.